Hello and welcome to Third Eye Thinkers. I'm your host, Michelle Welch.
Hello, I'm your host, Megan Benanti. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Well, today we have a really special guest. It's my husband, Roger Welch, and a little bit about Roger that Megan and I were talking about. Definitely, we wanted to give his bio today. And so I'm going to just tell you guys a little bit about Roger. Roger helped found and is the owner of Soultopia, LLC. So we have Soultopia that we started basically as trade shows. We would be at trade shows, and through that we grew into a store, a Dallas store. I'd say North Dallas, maybe a little bit, outside 635. And now we have the Bishop Arts location. And interestingly enough, we now have people wanting to franchise. In fact, I've already spoken with some lawyers about that. So it's getting pretty interesting. Yeah. And so Roger's spearheaded a lot of this all the while he works at Pello Windows and Doors and sells as a salesperson who goes to about 3 homes a day, and 2 at least, and and then sometimes 3, and then he is really the creative force, I believe, behind Soultopia. He also reads, does readings, he does healings, particularly with the singing bowls, which is a very interesting topic, and it's great when I go watch him looking at singing bowls. I think our next one's probably going to be the one that you actually stand in for a clearing.
Oh, wow. And
so he does that. He is a Mississippi boy and a Tennessean, I guess.
Tennessean.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and which I always forget. Born in Tennessee. Raised in Mississippi.
And then back to Tennessee.
And now in Texas.
When did you come to Texas?
8 years ago.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And so the cool thing about Roger is he's really chill. And a lot of our customers like that. He, for one thing, in fact, Chiro was saying this in Marchetti that we had on the show not too long ago. In this business, there are not always a lot of guys. There are a lot of females, and not a lot of guys like Roger, I'd say, that are kind of, I don't want to say country boys, but, construction and, in the sales of like windows and buildings.
Down to earth.
Thank you. Yeah, very down to earth. I know of one other, another guy that we might want to have on the show sometime. He's kind of the cowboy medium. His name's Steve Spur.
I've heard of him,
yes. Yeah, PJ and Steve are really nice people that live in Waxahachie, and they've been around a long time. And so, but Roger would be the other one, and we kind of call him the no BS psychic, the no BS reader, and the wire wrapper. But he's also very sought after for his information on saging. So that's why we're having him on today.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we're going to get him to show us a little bit about, well, first of all, why, Megan and I have talked about this a lot, but just like in a nutshell, why do you think someone would need to sage their home, Roger?
I believe the biggest problem with homes is that you get stagnant energy, and it stops moving around your house. So when you do sage your house, it's not only moving that stagnant energy, but sage is also, we were talking like helps move that bacteria out of the house also.
Nice. Very nice.
I got, we're doing 101 classes now at Soultopia because there's so many new people literally they walk in the doors every day and they say, I've never walked in a store like this ever.
Right.
Ever. And I'm sure, Megan, you're getting a lot of readings of people who've never gotten readings. And so we've started these one-on-one classes, and one of them we called it, I didn't name it this, but someone did, smudging. And somebody got a little upset with me for that, because apparently, that's more of a ritual that maybe certain indigenous cultures would use for clearing. But I did a lot of research on that, and I'm just going to tell you it's okay to use the word smudging. It just is. And so read my post and my response to her. It is totally okay to use that word, but we usually say saging. Saging. So what would you tell somebody if they want to know how to sage?
I would first ask if they've done it before. Find out what their level of expertise is. But you also need to kind of, especially around here, kind of ask, where they live. And the reason I say that is there's a lot of apartments, and we do get a lot of people from apartments where you can't burn candles, you can't burn incense, and the last thing you need is somebody coming in and saging their apartment, where it's one of those places you're not supposed to sage or incense or candles, and getting in trouble for it.
Right.
They've started putting that. It's my understanding that they have started putting that in a lot of leases.
A lot of leases. You see them, Frisco, Plano, even in Dallas. There's a lot of leases with that.
Yeah. I had a friend who accidentally burned down her place.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Yeah. In the bath, taking a bath or something with left the candles lit.
Oh, wow.
So
That's too bad. So what would you recommend then quickly, because we really want to show how to sage the other way, but what would you recommend if they couldn't use
Well,
this?
if they couldn't use it, they may want to use one of our spray sages, like the ones that I make, and
nice.
it has the dragon's blood and the sage and a few other essential oils in there. But those work really great to start getting that energy moving around in their place.
They also are portable and smell wonderful.
yes, and I use mine regularly because Michelle gave me a bottle, and I refresh my office with it between clients often. It works great. And I love that, Roger, you said, about just moving stagnant energy out.
Mm-hmm.
And that it wasn't necessarily that somebody feels like they've got bad mojo or anything. It's just like, okay, let's freshen this place up.
Right.
So that's pretty
Exactly.
powerful.
Exactly. So how would you, could you explain to us kind of what you would need if you were going to sage your home?
Okay, so if you were going to do a traditional sage, I always use some sort of container to catch the ashes. If not, ashes are going all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So abalone shells work great for that. And then you're going to need your sage itself, whether it's a wee sage or a large sage.
Oh, would you say wee sage?
Wee sage.
I thought you said something else.
Oh,
No, small sage.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought you
Small
said weed.
sage.
Okay.
And then once you actually go through your house and sage, you probably need to burn something sweeter smelling to bring in more of that positive energy back around.
oh,
So there's a couple of things you can use. Anything from sweetgrass,
nice.
Palo Santo,
Okay.
and even cedar.
Okay.
If you don't want to use those and go back through, you can also get incense that are like jasmine, any of those types, honeysuckle, any sweeter smelling incense to bring that positive energy back through.
Nice. Now, does the wood, does it get nice and smoky as well?
It does, actually.
Okay.
You can see on the cedar here, we actually used it before. And you do have to kind of keep it going a little bit. It's not like a flame and it's like a torch going through your house.
Right.
It does have a little bit of a flame on it. You can take, if you have a feather fan like this one here, a friend of mine, Roger in Kentucky, he makes these. But
Beautiful.
you can actually fan it a little bit and it keeps that smoke going. Same thing for the sage. Or if you just blow on it a little bit, it'll actually keep it going for you.
Okay.
I would say that when I've tried to light the Palo Santo or the cedar, especially the Palo Santo, I have to keep lighting it.
Okay.
Keep on lighting it.
One easy thing you can do is you can actually buy the charcoals, like the little hookah charcoals, put it in your shell, light it, get it going really
okay.
well. And then you can you can do a lot of things then, because you can take the sage, instead of burning the sticks, you can cut up some of the sage and just put it on top of the charcoal. The Palo Santo, the cedar, or even the sweetgrass, you can cut it up and just sprinkle it on top of the charcoal. And the charcoal will help keep it going also.
Nice.
Now, because you're putting a charcoal in there, it's going to get really hot on the bottom. So you got to make sure how you're holding it.
Okay.
Be real careful with it.
Does it get really hot if you're not putting the charcoal?
It still gets pretty warm. If you have just the sage setting in kind of like this, it still puts off some heat in there, but it's not so hot that it actually will burn you, but it does get warm.
Okay.
So just be careful.
Yeah,
when you're
you
using
still
that.
be careful, because it's still, it's an open flame. Even though it's not flaming up, it's still an open flame.
Yeah. Now, how regularly do you sage, like, your residence?
We probably go through once a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe once every 6 weeks.
Okay.
And it may not even be the entire space. It may be, time we get home, we usually are blast through the kitchen, through the living room, and into the bedroom. So it may be just that portion of the house, not
Okay.
the entire house.
Okay.
Or where it's really cluttered And we probably need to do that more. The store, we do either the singing bowl or sage almost every day.
Yeah.
Both stores.
We do.
Yes.
And I do it sometimes if I'm down there at night.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, I'll go through and, with the bowls, because the bowls are real easy to clear energy and, transmute it like we talk about. Bowls are really easy to go through and just walk around playing the bowls.
Yeah. And it sounds beautiful too. So
I will tell you that it was a discussion up at the store the other night between two people who actually work at the store. And one of them was saying, you don't need to open a window to sage. And the other said, oh, yes, you do. And this is why. And they both were very firm. They weren't arguing. They were just having a good, robust conversation about how to do that. My answer as the one sitting there with them was, I think it's whatever works best for you. But Roger, could you just tell us if somebody wanted to had the sage and they had something to hold it in, they had a lighter, what would they do to clear their home?
What I would do is I do open the windows and doors. So I would like to open up everything up. If I'm standing at the front door, I'm going to go all the way back to the furthest back left corner, and I'm going to start top to bottom in that corner. If it's a 2-story house, I start upstairs and work my way down. I'm going to go from top to bottom. I'm going to circles through, with the sage, going in circles around. I'm also going to hit all the closets, make sure I get everything, bathrooms. If you have like a hutch, TV stand, anything like that, remember those spaces up on top, okay? Because a lot of people will miss those out. So I do open everything up. I do go through, I clear everything top, bottom, and I back out of the room. And then I go to the next room and through the hallway and all the way out to the back door. Then I go back through with something, like I said, something that's sweeter smelling and kind of do the reverse of that.
Oh, nice.
To bring in the, more positive.
It feels really, you can tell a difference after a home or even a room has been saged. It really, I know you know this, but I'm looking at you just saying, I'm sure you agree. It just feels so much better. And I do say there's all kinds of types of sage. We can give you guys, or wherever you go to get your sage, can give you the different information. There's Yerba Santa, which is more of a Native American that they use a lot in their rituals. There's the white sage, which Roger has here.
That's this one.
There's blue sage. There is mugwort. There's cedar. Could you speak a little bit to that?
So you have bundles like this, which this is a white sage, and a lot of the ones you just named, they come bundles also. So some of those is like Yerba Santo. If you're doing a clearing, but it's more of a spiritual clearing, that would be what you would want to use, would be the Yerba Santo. Now, that's also what Palo Santo is good for, is spiritual clearing. The difference is this is more Central Southern America, where the Yerba Santo is more Native American.
Oh, interesting.
Sweetgrass, which I just dropped. Sweetgrass is another type. You'll even see like old timers, like my grandparents. These come in long braids, and they would actually have these over their back door, front door.
Yep.
And so that you would see a lot of, just like that.
Is that would be maybe for protection and to just keep harmony in the home?
Correct, harmony in the home.
And how did you get into this?
Okay, so you know those little kids that just seem to know something? It's like there's no way they should have known that?
Yep.
That was me. I would just know stuff, and it was like there's no way that he should know that. And then I was probably about, I don't know, 6 or 7. I was at my grandparents' house for the summer. It was late summer. Actually, it was fall, late summer, fall, where the leaves had already fallen. I heard the leaves rustle. I looked up. Where my grandparents lived was part of where the Civil War was fought. And I saw a full-dressed soldier running across the yard.
Wow.
So that day I ran in the house and I didn't come back out. But like from that day on, I used to see stuff all the time.
Wow. Okay. So, and were your parents or grandparents open to this as well?
Never told them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was that secret. I was like, yep, went to the house and watched TV and didn't say anything else the rest of the day.
Wow. So as you grew up, when did you decide to kind of be born in this direction?
Um, I always kind of messed around a little bit with like tarot cards and things like that, horoscopes.
Mm-hmm.
But really didn't really dive deep into it until I got here in Texas.
Okay.
And started diving more deep into everything, even though I did kind of, kind of dabble in it, I guess would be the best way to say it, because I did a little bit of, play with this and that. Probably even in high school, because I would read a lot of occult books. And, you have to do those reports. I one time did a report on an occult book. That didn't go over too well in a small town, but small school. But,
Oh, I bet not.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
yeah.
it was kind of cool. But when I got here and met Michelle, we were both those people that just don't sleep at night. I mean, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, we're still up.
Yep.
So we're either out all night or we're finding something creative to do. And that's when we started doing a lot of the jewelry. We started making the jewelry.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. It was the bracelets really were where we started, just because it was so soothing. The beads, just when you hold those beads and make the bracelets, whatever kind you're making, it's just so soothing. And then Roger kind of really has an interest in certain things. I'm probably the card collector, even though he reads with cards. And he's very much into all the herbs and how to clear with them and how to use them. And so we do have I would say probably almost, I would say if not every day, multiple people a day coming in asking how to clear their home.
Wow. Okay.
It's one of the things we are most frequently asked about.
It's probably it is. Every day there's somebody coming through wanting to know what to do and how to do it, and the whole step process. And one thing is that first time you do it, honestly, you may or may not do it technically the correct way. It's one of those, as you are doing it more and more, kind of follow up. When you do come in the second or third time, just kind of ask again, talk about it, because it's kind of like driving. When you drive the very first time, you may not have all the basics down. You may kind of know how to get it into, drive.
Right.
But the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And that's the same thing with this. The more you're doing it and talking to other people about it and how they're doing it.
I liked how Megan emphasized that you were talking about not just that there's something negative or ominous in the home, that you were just talking about, just clearing that stagnant energy. What about for the times when there is something potentially, do you change a lot if there's some energy or that you're trying to get out of your home? You feel just a negative energy.
So if I feel a negative energy, I'm probably going to go through and sage, maybe even use mugwort, which is a stronger, or maybe even the dragon's blood sage, which is a white sage coated in the dragon's blood resin.
Okay.
Those are just stronger. They're stronger than just regular sage. So I may use something like that to kind of get that energy to really move and get out. I may also, I dropped it as my pendulum. I may use my pendulum to kind of go through the place and see what energy is still flowing, what's still sitting around. And
I do want you to show them your pendulum. So sorry,
I
see if you can
love
find
that.
here it is.
I love that idea. I hadn't
So-
thought of using a pendulum like that. So you go in and you just based on the movement, if there's still presence or if there's
Correct. And like this is mine. I made this, I don't know, 3 years ago.
Roger has classes, you guys, on making pendulums, and they are wonderful. Necklaces, bracelets, or pendulums. We don't have any on the books, but they're great.
This one actually, this was a quartz. This had 3 points on it, triple point quartz. And when I picked it up, it was actually just in a bag, so it was all frosty looking, from rubbing against the other quartz. What's cool about quartz, though, if you carry it in your pants pocket, it's called denim wash. Because the denim in your pocket will polish out the quartz and makes it shinier.
Wow.
It's like tumbling your quartz in your jeans.
Exactly.
Nice.
So, and I like the longer chain because when I use the pendulum, I like to see the motion of it. So spin. But you can get things going, and see where the energy is flowing and how it's flowing around the house.
Nice. that particular pendulum is quite beautiful because the lights in here today are both green and purple, and it was capturing them and almost had an iridescent effect to it just now. It was really cool.
Thank you.
One of the things that I will say about Roger, and I've been told this by many different mediums and psychics about him, is that he does stabilize the energy. He kind of wards off negativity. I tend to sometimes attract some, maybe not because I'm trying to, but just lower. I don't protect myself maybe as well as I should. And it's interesting, and I may have said this before, but one time I was at the house, and you remember how the TVs used to go like snowy white at night or whatever, and they don't really do that anymore. Well, Roger left the house.
Except in the movie The Ring.
Yeah, well, this wasn't The Ring, and I had not been watching it, but all of a sudden my TV went like that when he left. And about 20 minutes later, and I'm just like, okay, what's going on? What have I brought in? What have I brought home with me? What have I not cleared? What have I not being protective about? And he said, then Roger walked back in the house, and immediately, and I'm not kidding you, the minute he hit the door, that TV went back to normal. Things just don't mess with him. It's just interesting, and that's why I think it is good for him to come and do your clearings if you need it, but typically we tell you how to do it, right?
Right, correct.
And if you do need a clearing, you can call the store and he can give you the information on that.
I would say Roger's energy is that way just as a person, though. Like, you know, I don't know. You're just not the kind of person that you would harass. Or Roger, I'm looking at Roger as I say this. So
he's not.
Yeah, you're not going to mess around with him. You know, crack jokes, yes, but you're not. I don't know. You're not going to try to intimidate him. He just doesn't have that kind of personality.
Yeah, it just kind of doesn't work.
Yeah,
it just falls flat.
Yeah, but like, why would someone even try? You know, whereas the rest of the people in the world, those of us might have somebody challenge us in some way.
I certainly do. One more thing is, just because I think people would want to know, where does the salt come in?
Okay, so remember I said we go in and you open the windows and the doors, go through, sage everything. Then you want to take and bring in the positive. After that, I would go back through and I put salt down on all the window sills and all the door thresholds.
Okay.
Okay. You see it a lot. Actually, if you watch Supernatural, they, they draw the circle of salt and the demon can't get out because he can't cross. Kind of the same basis, really, if you think about it. It's actually just kind of sealing and protecting your house. Now, really, another thing that I do beyond that, because after you salt the windows and the doors, you shut the windows and doors, you can buy the little crystal points. And on your window, the meeting rail of the window, where it has that little offset, set a crystal point right there. Or over your doorway, you can set a crystal point up there. And that just gives a good, nice flow of energy coming around your whole space.
Nice. Yeah, I have a neighbor whose actual entire fireplace is made out of crystal from the 60s.
Pretty.
Yeah, and it was just, it's really phenomenal.
Wow.
I want to show it to you guys sometime.
Oh, please take a picture at least.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of crystal it is. I don't think it's quartz, but some of it's kind of bulbous and curves around. And
beautiful.
It's pretty darn cool. So
yeah, I would love to see that. Well, if you guys have any more questions at all about saging or the things to use for saging, I think we've covered it pretty well. You can certainly contact Roger at the store or even anyone that works at the store. We actually we were talking about a house, but we actually have a thing now at the store called Quickie Clearings. It's for people who are working, and it's 15 minutes, and you come in, and instead they may sage, or they may use, if you really want us to light the sage, but really they use the selenite and the black kyanite that I've talked about before, and the spray, and then a tuning fork. And it just in 15 minutes, they'll clear you as a person if you felt like you just need to be cleared. And it's only 15 minutes. So we've just started offering that. It's pretty cool. And a lot of people are taking advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I did a couple of weeks ago, and it was actually less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's really
I got
about
through the whole process, it was real quick. It's easy. You come in, grab, if you're on your lunch break or on your way home in the afternoon, come in, get it done. It's very simple.
After a hard day at work, get yourself cleansed.
Yeah.
Nice.
So do we want to do a couple readings?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it because Roger's going to read with us, which will be really fun.
So here we go. All right.
Okay, so we've got the Angels Tarot today. Let me fill out some charms here. Lots of noise, huh? Okay, so.
And don't forget to hold those up since we don't have a camera down there.
All right, so we have 2 hearts that are intertwined. So you're, as a listener, you're going to pick one of these charms, and that reading will be for you. And we have a necktie. So you either pick the 2 hearts intertwined or a necktie. It's kind of interesting that both images are about being tied or connected. So that's cool.
Are we going to do 1 card or 2?
Let's do 2.
Okay.
Okay, so there's 1 and 2. Okay, so if you picked the 2 hearts intertwined, we have King of Pentacles and 10 of Wands. And Roger, can you even see that at all?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, I'll hold them up. The King of Pentacles. Matt, is that good? Okay. And then the 10 of Wands. Megan's holding up. And that's with the intertwined hearts. The 2 intertwined hearts. Well, I'll take off if you want me to go.
Please.
Okay. So here's what I'm getting right away on this one. That there is a relationship that is, if you picked the intertwined hearts, so this is for all of you, but it's going to be fairly specific. So if you're in a relationship that where you are spending a little bit more money than you should spend, and you're both, and we know that this is one of the things that causes the most problems in relationships, but what I picked up immediately from this is that one of you in the relationship, and I'm not going to say if it's the man or woman, and it may be a man, it may be 2 men together in a relationship. So, but one of you tends to be a little more grounded about the money. And I'm going to encourage the other of you, whoever's listening, to listen a little more to the one that has the practical knowledge, because I believe it's a burden that you're carrying. You think it's so much fun, but then you are carrying a lot of this on you, and it's probably some debt that you're carrying, and it's going to take a toll on the relationship if you don't get a handle on that. That's what I get.
Cool. Roger,
And we make all 3 get something different.
Yeah.
So
I think we probably will.
yeah, because that one came immediately to me like that.
So I would say that the within your relationship, you might have a few burdens other than even money, but you probably want to kind of start maybe looking at it overall, the relationship issues, maybe if it is kind of that burden from money or just communication or whatever it is going on, but maybe start having open communication about what's going on with it. Okay, not just putting it to the side or trying to hide it, actually bringing it up and let's talk about this. Okay. But I do see that relationship, your hearts are intertwined, your hearts are, together, you're in the relationship, as a couple, as a partners, but don't let those burdens overtake that. Don't let those burdens become the stress of everything that's coming around with you.
Okay. And that actually connects a little bit with what I saw with it as well, because what I really picked up on was this guy's clenching his jaw really bad. And I was like, there's so much tension in him. And I feel like there's a focus with this King of Pentacles to like really trying to like complete something by the end of this year. There's this push to finish it out, and the relationship is there. And he's not really focused on his relationship, the partnership, and that's coming up out of the hearts. He's so focused on kind of like getting through this work at the end of the year. And don't forget about that relationship. You need to have some fun. To me, this is like take a moment, enjoy part of this time instead of just pushing. So, All right. And so for the tie, we got, if you chose the tie,
I have the Knight of Cups.
Knight of Cups and Seven of Wands. So, do you want to go, Michelle?
Okay. Let's see. Well, the necktie immediately, when I saw it, I didn't think of business. I thought more of actually having something that is restraining someone a little bit. Okay, just something that you feel held back. You you actually are feeling held back in the things you really want to do, and even some of your sentiments as almost the things that like art and writing and projects, and I know it's the cups, which is relationships, but I'm getting more almost a wand feeling. It's things that you love that are creative, music, and you want to, and that's something that makes you feel young again. Those things that maybe were desires of your heart when you were younger that you've kind of let go to the wayside, and then when you pick them up, you haven't picked them up yet, and I'm going to encourage you to pick up those hobbies again so you don't feel so restrained by the everyday matters of life where you right now do feel like you have a lot of things coming at you. You feel like you have a lot of people, either people or projects or things that are just like, it almost feels like you're being ganged up on a little bit, but not really, just energetically ganged up on, because it seems like things are coming from every direction. And I believe the relief is going to come when you step into some art or singing or music or one of those things that you loved artistically. There's actually a study that just came out about that and shows how much that reduces our stress.
Wow. Great. Cool. Roger, you want to give it a go?
I'll pass them. You go, babe.
So, actually, and I'm not sure how I could say it any better than Michelle did.
I know.
Because one of the things is with this, yeah, you said necktie, but even when you pulled it out and said necktie, I was thinking, not, oh, let me go get dressed up. It was more like, what's holding us back type things, right? And, it's really that the person's not in their creative space, and they do feel like they're being attacked almost, it's being constrained, whether it's from, a relationship or work or, just the environment. You're just feeling more like you're just kept in a box.
Yeah.
Okay. Jump out of that box and start doing the things that you feel like that's creative. Just get out. Whether it is the music or the painting or whatever it is, get out of that box, start doing the things that you enjoy. Don't worry about what the other people are thinking. Do what you enjoy.
That's great. And I agree. Both of them said it really well. Another thing that I kind of picked up on it, though, this tie it's like loosening up. It's like you're getting ready to take it off. So it's been released a little bit. And I know it sounds funny, but I was like, loosen up your lover, baby. This is time to kind of let it go and relax into it, and don't feel like you've got to get everything done. It's, again, it's that letting go. And for anybody who might be fighting breast cancer with this, I also picked up on that because it does look a bit like the pink ribbon that's crossed. And in that regard, I feel like you're getting a lot of male support from your spouse in this, or, but a lot of loving support from people. And that, when you go into 2019 and you're looking at a new, what's the word, when you've got insurance premiums. So, but you're also going to be probably going into a new kind of challenge with battling that cancer. And so don't be afraid of that. This is saying you've got this. So,
yeah.
Cool.
Beautiful.
All right.
Yes.
Well, if anybody wants to reach out to Roger, how's the best way to get in touch with you?
You can actually call the store. I'm not always there, but you can leave a message. You can also email me, and it's roger@soultopia.guru. That's probably the easiest way because it does come across to my phone, and I can reply back to you.
Well, you can also set up an appointment online at soultopia.guru, because I will say at Pella, he got the most likely to not return the email award.
Yeah.
Oh.
Had to say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, isn't that funny?
I do get a lot of emails during the day.
I hear you.
Now, he gets so many, you guys. So what I'm going to do is...
I've got 6 different email accounts.
Yes, he does. So I would say contact the store or check on Soultopia.guru.
Okay, perfect.
Megan's looking at me like, I can't believe you just said that. It was really funny. He thought it was funny.
Okay. So, well, you guys have been listening to Third Eye Thinkers today with Michelle Welch and Megan Benanti and Roger Welch. So, thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. We want to give a special thanks to Real News Communication Networks, our producer Matt Stoker, and our media assistant Cassie Clayton. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.